Oh, yeah, the OnlyFans U-turn. I saw this story. This is such a weird... Was the whole thing a publicity stunt? Because the whole world was talking about it. Top trending story shows up on this show, which must mean it's a top trend. After that, after Willie Doo puts it on the docket, it's going to be a top trending story. They're no longer going to be banning the adult content. They got user backlash, and everyone was a little curious as to what the original incentive was, or the original restriction was, like why they had to make the change in the first place to ban that type of content. Well, some were thinking it was the credit card processing companies, MasterCard, Visa, these types, that were seeing it as a risky endeavor to be involved in these transactions. And that was because in the past we had heard stories of those companies being sensitive to things going on OnlyFans, but then they came out and said, no, it actually wasn't that. It was our bank. Like it was our banking setup that they were uncomfortable with for whatever reason. Anyways, they have apparently now received assurances from those banking partners that everything's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. OnlyFans said Wednesday it has suspended its plans in a stunning U-turn that came after fierce backlash from its users. A spokesperson for the online subscription platform told CNBC that the proposed changes will no longer require due to banking partners' assurances that OnlyFans can support all genres of creators. I don't know how confident I would feel in this if this was my main source of revenue, because you're going back and forth
very quickly too. The
ping pong thing. So it's like, okay, you got assurances for now, but like the fact that a company at this scale seeking a $1 billion valuation could potentially pivot in such a strong, maybe more than a pivot. Well, they call it a U-turn. I'd say it's a U-turn.
Oh, okay.
If the potential for that exists, I got to be looking at diversification if it's me, just because it exists in my mind as a possibility.
But where can you go? Twitch? I guess we were talking about Patreon, right?
I don't know. I actually don't know what Patreon's rules are, but I guess what I meant is just diversification in monetization strategies, that maybe the content is one part of it, but then there's all other opportunities for people to make money.
Sure.
I don't know. What do people do? They think about merch. They think about selling direct. Like, I presume you can sell content direct. I don't know how you do that, but start your own website, right? Like, there's ways to do things that, you might want to start looking into, I guess, if you're nervous about this as a OnlyFans, if that's your business. But I can't help but wonder about the legitimacy of the whole thing, considering how fast the turnaround took place. Because then I'm like, well, these banking partners, they pick up the phone, they're like, look at all this press, look at all this bad press, and I don't know, there's so much money on the line. What are these banking partners worried about specifically? I mean, we said the underage thing potentially, but it's a lot of money on the line. With more than 130 million users, 2 million content creators, and reported 150 million in free cash flow last year, OnlyFans has the kind of numbers many startups could only dream of. Yeah, I mean, the money's there. I gotta feel like they'll figure it out, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's tough with the trust and whatnot when things flip quickly.